Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Man, we got slapped in the face with some big news this morning. I actually wasn't even going to do a video today because it just so happens to be my birthday, so I was going to take a day off of doing videos, but this morning woke up to ban list news, so of course we have to talk about it. I actually haven't seen this ban list nor their explanations yet. I pretty much just woke up to this, except for this first card on the screen, obviously, because I had kind of set the video up this way, but we are going to go over the new Set 16 Realm of the Gods ban list in today's video. Hope you guys are excited as I am. We still have a decent amount of time in the Set 15 format though, because Set 16 doesn't come out until March. It got delayed pretty heavily, so we will still be playing with the current ban list for a while, but a lot of times locals like to implement the ban list early, even if the new set isn't out. So that's something you guys are interested in doing. Make sure you talk to your local game store, and I'm sure you guys can get that done. But anyways, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, especially because of my birthday. It'd be really appreciated. Anyways, let's get into this. So I'm going to read their explanations, which I have off screen here, and then we'll talk about it card by card. So from the Dragon Ball Super card game, which on their official Facebook page, greetings Dragon Ball Super card game fans, thank you for your continued support of the Dragon Ball Super card game in 2022. With the release of UW07 Realm of the Gods, we are updating the banned, limited, and errated list, reflecting on the 2021 competitive season, including tournament results, internal testing, and community feedback. We have concluded that these adjustments will help facilitate a fresh, diverse metagame in the new year, as well as more fun for you, the players. For the release of Realm of the Gods, we are adding 3 cards to the ban list, 1 addition to the limited list, and 5 additions to the errata list. All right, before we even get into what the cards actually are, a lot of people hate erratas. I have much less of a problem with them than a lot of other people do, because in my opinion, you got to go to the same resource to figure out what's banned as to figure out what's errated. But I do see it as a bit more annoying to have to memorize a brand new card effect than it is to just memorize you can't play with a certain card. So I do definitely get that point. But yeah, more erratas, which a lot of people are definitely not going to be very happy about. But anyways, let's talk about this. So ban cards: BT3112 Unrelenting Assault Trunks. Reason: this card provides a disproportionate advantage for leader cards that can send cards directly from warp in large quantities, aka Gogeta Xeno. Since this card is rarely used outside of such interactions, we decided to ban this card. Okay, this one makes sense, but we'll have to see if it makes sense with the rest of the ban list. And here's what I mean. This is a light tap to Gogeta Xeno. This does not kill the deck in any way. This does not drop the deck from tier 1 status, most likely at least. This is a very light tap to Gogeta Xeno, but Trunks was a super solid card in the deck. The leader is able to warp cards off top of the deck, and if Trunks got warped, it would be added directly to your hand, so it added free draw power. But it also made it like a super consistent overwhelm in the deck, because a lot of times what you do is you would fuse from your warp, putting your materials in the drop area, and you would just always have this 3-cost overwhelm that wasn't super flashy, but it was, again, super consistent, because you would just be able to add it to your hand off of warping it. So this is technically a consistency hit to Gogeta Xeno. They'll have to play some other 3-cost overwhelm, most likely a free one, because they want to save their energy to play their Gogeta Xeno battle cards. So yeah, I mean, this is a good hit. Again, this is a good light tap to Gogeta Xeno. It is unfortunate because Trunks is a cool card, but it is I don't want to say broken, but it is definitely a little bit too strong in the Gogeta Xeno deck. So let's move on to the next card that we have, which is Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Okay, a lot of people have been asking for this one. I honestly never expected this in a million years, but let's read their explanation for it. Fu Shrouded in Mystery. Reason: this card creates a powerful game-ending ability for any deck with low potential for opponent interaction. Additionally, newer cards have bolstered this card's power more than originally intended. I'm not really sure what they're talking about in that respect. In order to encourage strategies based on new card types and improve overall player enjoyment, we've decided to ban this card. Okay, so a couple things. I definitely understand the point that people get frustrated when playing against Fu Shrouded, because depending on the color that you're playing, there is a rather low amount of interaction. Blue can God Sealing this, so that's, you know, pretty good on Blue's behalf. Yellow can typically make an interplay in rest mode, so you don't have to deal with the 30k double strike, but they'll still blank all your effects. You may have access to like Cold Bloodlust or Frost Deadly Poison to actually stop the effect, but you have to be playing pretty specific decks for that to work, so even in yellow it's tough to deal with. And then in green, red, and black, for the most part, it's very hard to interact with Fu Shrouded Mystery. This is true. But the thing I liked about Fu Shrouded Mystery is that it actually kept certain strategies in check. Like, it definitely kept a deck like Sin Shenron in check that just has like the default best late game in the game. Like, if you're going to ban Fu Shrouded for his tap 6 technically auto win, you might want to look at Sin Shenron, because they have a tap 6 that is in a lot of times an auto win as well, because they generate so much advantage, put out so many attackers that what can you do? How can you come back from that? Unless, again, you have God Sealing, but even then you're making your opponent draw 7 cards. So that's just kind of a weird point there. And again, I just like that Fu Shrouded helps you beat these ultra crazy control decks that have these near unbeatable end games. That I did like that about this card. And again, the games go super long, so dropping this guy on 6 felt okay to me. And the biggest thing about Fu Shrouded as well is that he wasn't really game ending on his own. You had to have a established board to beat a good player, at least. To beat a good player, you had to have an established board, and you had to make sure the Fu Shrouded could resolve. Doing those things is not always the easiest at the highest level of competitive play, but I can see where this is a bit more frustrating for more casual or intermediate players. So, I mean, I don't absolutely hate it, but I definitely don't love it either, in my opinion. So, let's go to the last ban card. Oh my god, they banned Cell Surge Leader. Alright, we gotta read what they have to say here. So, reason: this card is a non-interactive leader with a long-standing presence in competitive play. In order to encourage strategies based around new card types and improve overall player enjoyment, we decided to ban this card. This is an absolute home run. Kudos, Bandai. I think this is a much better solution than errata-ing Rebrand, because the leader is just insanely powerful. Yes, Rebrand could have done well as mono green only, and that would have obviously brought down the power level of Cell Surge, but the leader was just crazy, man. Like, the non-interactivity of these leaders, I've talked about it so many times. When a leader does not have to attack to draw cards, you can just lead to really degen strategies that, unless you have your own form of Self-Awaken or you're playing an aggro deck, you really just can't play out of. Like, mid-range had such a unfun, like, unfair time against Cell Surge. You know, more or less depending on the deck you were playing. Icarus could keep up, but it was still very, very tough. Then you have, you know, any rogue tier or tier 2 mid-range deck, and it was just an absolute miserable experience. And that's the cool thing, too. Like, Cell Surge arguably was the most unfair out of the big 3, Gogeta, Xeno, Icarus, and Cell Surge. So, while no one really wanted to see Icarus and Gogeta, Xeno absolutely murdered, people did want to see Cell Surge unplayable, because player experience is definitely a thing you want to consider, you know, for your game, right? So this is a very, very good pick in my opinion. So that's all the banned cards. Next up, we have a limited card, which I definitely saw this one coming. Power of a Super Saiyan. So here we go. Power of a Super Saiyan. Reason: this card provides the following advantage at no cost, restricting opponent's battle cards and using cards based strategies, drawing cards, and allowing player to utilize effects that require resting a card. In order to properly balance its utility for yellow decks, we decided to limit this card to 1 copy per deck. This is super funny. I'm honestly really, really surprised they didn't just ban the card, but my rationale for them limiting Power of a Super Saiyan is because that SPR is one of the nicest they've printed in the game's history, and I'm assuming that's the reason why they wanted to keep it at 1. And honestly, if that's the reason, I'm okay with that, because the card is way too nice looking to just sit in my binder and collect dust for the rest of the game's history. This card is absolutely ridiculous. This is, I would say this is comparable to the Trunks hit, where it is more of a light tap. This is not hitting any of like the super big power cards in yellow. Or I guess you could technically argue that it is, but what Power of a Super Saiyan did was bring yellow together in like this seamless fashion where, again, like they mentioned, you have a free way to rest things that draw cards. So for literally 0 investment, you're stopping an attack, which is absolutely incredible. But besides that as well, this was your extra card for setting up a robotic riposte and just making the rest of your deck operate, again, seamlessly. So this definitely is going to be another consistency hit to yellow, and a decent power to yellow as well. You have to worry a little bit less now about sequencing it properly, which was always the thing against yellow, at least in modern formats, is if you sequence incorrectly against yellow, a good yellow player can severely punish you, and Power of a Super Saiyan was one of their main ways of doing that. So I do think this is a bit in line with the Trunks hit. Again, I think this is more of a detrimental hit to yellow than Trunks is to Gogeta Xeno, but still not a hit that kills the color, in my opinion. So that's all of the limited cards. Let's see what they had to errata. They've errated Higher Dragon. Okay, they errated Icarus. All right, I can't even imagine what they changed on text here. Let's just give it a read. All right. Post errata text. Added 1 yellow cost to activate main. Oh my god, are you kidding me? All right. Added 1 yellow cost to activate main. Activate once per turn for a yellow. Draw a card, then play it to 1 yellow skillless battle card that earns your cost of 1 from your drop. Added, if it's your turn to activate battle. Activate battle once per turn. When this card's in battle, if it's your turn, there's a monster card in your combo. Draw 1. Reason: This leader provides draw advantage that significantly outpaces all other leaders with no downside. In order to properly balance the selection of the other leaders in overall metagame, we decided to issue an errata for this card. Okay, they should have just absolutely 110% banned this leader if they were gonna do this. Like, this is dumb. This is really dumb. The leader is absolutely unplayable now at my first take on it. That might be a hot take, might be a bad take, but this leader is absolute trash, absolutely unplayable. I know people are still going to try to play it. People try to do the same thing with Dark Broly, but this is just so bad. Paying an energy to draw where all of the leaders draw for free. Yes, you technically generate a +2 that can then get another card draw when you attack and combo. But man, they should just ban this leader. This is such a needless errata. I really don't like this. But anyways, let's move on to the next errata. Son Goku True Fighting Spirit. I did expect this to possibly get banned or even maybe limited to 2, but they're actually going with an errata here. So let's see. All right, added unique to keywords. All right, this makes sense. Reason: this card's second auto ability is proven overly oppressive, preventing opponents from forming defensive strategies while multiple copies are in play. In order to properly balance this card, we decided to issue an errata adding unique. I like this a lot. This actually makes perfect sense. You can't spam 4 of these and then decide to just go all in on your opponent. This is cool. You still get to play the card. Again, a light tap to Gogeta Xeno. Although this is a bigger hit. This is definitely a bigger hit than the Trunks, obviously, because what a lot of players would do, especially like in my team, in our testing circle, is before they really decided to turn on the gas for aggro, they would just try to spam as many copies of this card as they could before going in. So this is definitely a super solid hit to Gogeta Xeno. But again, I don't think it kills the deck. So that's a very good thing. Does not kill the deck. Still very playable. I do like that for sure. All right, next errata. Black Smoke Dragon offering destruction. They're hitting Gogeta Xeno again for a 3rd time. Okay, let's see the errata here. Added, your leader card is Demon Realm Race to -1 activate main. Okay, so yeah, you basically can't use this in Gogeta Xeno anymore. It's just not possible. So next effect, this card's -1 marker ability being usable by any leader has led to undesirable interactions as well as concerns for future card designs. Therefore, we've decided to issue an errata of this card's -1 while maintaining the previous errata from August 6th. Oh, I forgot. This card had to be errated twice. Like, oh, that's so funny, but so dumb at the same time. All right, more erratas. Let's see. Demon God Deborah, Diabolical Awakening. All right, what do they change about this card? Send that card to its own. Okay, yeah, I think there was a typo on this card. That's why they had to errata this. Not a big deal. And then we have the Vegeta VR Leader, the Ramp Gogeta VR Leader. Okay, this was always a big one of controversy because that choose up to 1 red or blue Saiyan seemed like an optional cost, and if you chose not to pay that, you could just not pitch a card and then look at the top 3, add a card, and your leader will be able to +2. So let's see what they are added here. Okay, changed from choose up to 1 to choose 1. Activate battle once per turn, choose 1 red or blue Saiyan in your hand, discard it. The current text of this prevents it being played as intended. Okay, so I don't know if they intended it to be this way in the first place. I mean, why would you even add an optional discard? When is anyone even gonna choose to do that? There's not really many red or blue Saiyans that actually benefit you from being in the drop area, so it is kind of weird they would even add an optional cost for this in the first place. But yeah, they changed it to no cost, so it is a mandatory discard and look at top 3, which makes this leader way worse, honestly. I did at first think this leader was very overpowered. Again, only the leader, not so much like the actual archetype you'd actually play in the deck, but the leader being able to +2 is very good. But then I realized, like, you have to pitch 2 to Union Fusion, so even though you're +2 in that respect, you're still losing cards to Fuse, and some of those cards would get you cards back, but some of them wouldn't. So it was this kind of weird thing where the +2 was almost acceptable in a couple ways. So I mean, this is fine, but also just why didn't they print it right the first time? That's kind of annoying. But anyways, that's all the cards are changing, guys. Let's read the rest of this, what it says. Effective dates, all regions. Date of Unison Warrior series boost Realm of the Gods pre-release. The next band limited errata list is updated to schedule be announced before the release at 17. We are dedicated to developing a game that Dragon Ball Super card game fans alike can enjoy. Thank you for your continued support of the Dragon Ball Super card game. Our official website will be updated with the info above next week. Stay tuned for a special edition of DBSCG Direct covering the World Championship, and look out for the God Rare reveal soon, February 4th, which is, again, my birthday, which is funny. Yeah, I didn't expect it to come out today, guys, because I think we still have a month and a half until the new set comes out. So, I mean, overall, this is crazy, right? So, Trunks, totally cool with. Again, light tap to Gogeta. Fu, don't love it, but, I mean, you know, I'll live, right? We'll all live. Cell Surge, excellent hit. Power limited to 1. I definitely saw this coming, so this makes sense. I think it's also fine. This just ban the leader, man. This is so dumb. Like, oh, this is just so much you have to remember now. And again, I mentioned earlier, I don't even really hate that fact, but like, the leader's just absolutely unplayable. It's nowhere near resembling what it was. Just ban the card. This again, fine light tap to Gogeta. Fine light tap to Gogeta, keeping this card playable in what it was meant to be played with. Deborah, just fixing the wording because I believe there was a typo on it. And then Vegeta, you know, I guess just makes sense, but why didn't you print the card correctly the first time? So overall, I think, you know, solid ban list, I guess. I don't really think there's much on here that I was hoping for that wasn't on here. Soul Striker's not on here, which I think is fine. I know a lot of people are going to be a little bit upset about that. But, yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what you think, man. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.